Hello there, thanks for joining me. I'm Jessie Chahel, coming to you live from the comforts of home, keeping you updated with what's happening in the news. Now, in our headlines today, over 21 million COVID jabs have been administered since yesterday, and walk-in vaccination for senior citizens have been also extended nationwide, as well as proper guidance needed for COVID-19 self-test kit. My colleague Jared Ratnam will be joining me shortly later, and we hope that we'll be able to have squeeze in a quick conversation with him, but also our guest on the show today, Dr. Nuriyati Abu Amin, director at the National Blood Center. We'll be talking about national blood supply. There has been a call by the Health Ministry to urge more donors to step forward. Well, let's get right into it. What's in our headlines today from the Health Minister, Dr. Adham Baba? He says a total of over 21 million vaccine doses have been administered under the National COVID-19 Immunization Program as of yesterday, and 14 million of vaccine doses were administered as first dose out of that total of 21, with the balance 7 million doses to the second dose recipients. So we are edging closer towards that goal of getting everyone inoculated. Now, according to the percentage overall, 44.3% of the country's population has received the first dose, and a balance 22% having completed the vaccination. So that's where we are with all things vaccine related. But moving into what happened yesterday, we recorded our highest daily COVID-19 death toll since the pandemic hit the country, with a total of 219 fatalities. Now, the Health DG has said that these latest numbers brings the total of COVID-19 deaths in the country to 9,403. Can we stop it? I'm not sure, but can we do our part? We must, because every single day we're losing loved ones among us as well. Deaths involve 201 Malaysian citizens and 18 foreigners, with a total of 198 of them succumbing to the disease in the hospital, and the remaining 21 who were brought in dead or BID, they had passed on at home. Now, 1,063 COVID-19 patients are being treated in ICUs, with 532 of them requiring a respiratory support. In Labuan, Perlis, and Sarawak, these states may be entering phase 3 of the National Recovery Plan in just a few days. According to the Prime Minister, this decision was made based on good results from the three states. Now, relaxations for economic sectors and for individuals who have completed 2 doses or both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine will also be announced soon. The Prime Minister says that the matter is being scrutinized carefully. Now, about 96.7% of adults in Kuala Lumpur and Selangor have been given the first dose, according to Minister Kari Jamaluddin. About 3,600 to 8,000 vaccinations will be administered daily at the KLCC Vaccination Centre to walk-in recipients in the Klang Valley from today until August 22nd. How convenient is that? Walk in for your vaccination. Early on, when, with the outbreak and everything, this whole option was such a far-fetched option. We didn't even have a vaccine at that point of time. So we've come a long way, just a little more to go until we are all safe. A KLCC Vaccination Centre manager says the vaccination capacity depended on the number of people present during the operating hours from 2 p.m. right up till 8:30 p.m. daily. And back to walk-in vaccinations, but particularly for senior citizens aged 60 and above, this will now be extended throughout the country. This will start as well next week. KJ says the direct vaccination approach will allow people in the group to walk into any vaccination center here in Kuala Lumpur or in Selangor for your vaccine shots. Now, the minister has also added that the current stats shows that 95% of senior citizens have already registered to receive their vaccine jabs. And more on vaccine, negotiations with Pfizer Incorporation have begun for Malaysia's 2022 vaccine procurement and supply. According to KJ, once again, an announcement on the price of the vaccines from the American biopharmaceutical company will be made following reports that Pfizer and Moderna have raised their selling price for European nations. Will we be able to secure a better price? I'm sure that's the negotiation going on now. Now, All the rage this week and last week was about the COVID-19 self-test kits. The International Medical University Institute for Research, Development and Innovation Deputy Director, Professor Dr. Azizi Ayub, has said that anyone getting the COVID 19 rapid self test kit should be guided in the way it needs to be used, and that too guided by a medical practitioner to be able to obtain reliable results. Although the kit would come with instructions, the right technique should be sought from an expert to avoid any false negative or false positive result. Now, urged the Ministry of Health also to raise awareness about the use of these kits correctly to ensure an accurate reading and, of course, safety procedures to be followed as well. I'm assuming all of you have your My Sejahtera app updated. That was also something that we needed to do in the past few days. Now, for Malaysians looking to buy COVID-19 self-test kits online, your My Sejahtera app has been directing them to an e-commerce website called pharma2u.co. Now, following a complaint recently on the online sales of these test kits and other issues, a check by our local daily here in the city centre of this website, pharma2u.com, showed that it had temporarily suspended sales of COVID-19 self-test kits. What's going on? So for those of you who have already successfully made purchases previously, Pharma2u says orders would be shipped as confirmed. Of course, for verified news and for True News, do come on to bernama.com, our portals, our various media channels to get the latest updates as well. Moving on to Sabah. Now, Sabah aims to raise its COVID-19 vaccination rate to 50,000 doses a day this month in order to achieve herd immunity. The state COVID-19 spokesperson says with 1,166 new cases just yesterday, of course, the highest single day tally this year, vaccination has to be expedited. Now, he says that close contacts could continue to be the largest contributor with 674 cases or 57.8% of the caseload, an indication that many people are already susceptible to COVID-19 infection. Stay home, stay safe. We need to play our part. If you have to go out for important arrangements, necessary appointments, please make sure you follow three W's as well, the three C's. Do not forget your mask, double mask if you can, and keep your hands to yourself and try to stay away from crowds as well. Now, here comes the health DG, Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah. He's come out to say that, look, there's been a sharp drop in blood donations since the COVID-19 surge. There's been increase in COVID-19 cases between the months of May until mid-July, and that has led to a sharp drop in blood collection nationwide, especially in the Klang Valley. Now, among the factors leading to this shortage, of course, safety concerns by the public and donors during the blood donation process. There's some fear around that, as well as cancellation of planned blood donation programs due to the pandemic. So a bit of a lose-lose situation here. The Health Ministry, the National Blood Centre and blood banks are always prioritizing the safety of donors, blood donation campaign organizers and staff members to ensure a safe environment. The Health DG has reminded us and reiterated. And so if you are capable of giving blood, donating blood, please do so. Much is needed. An average amount of blood needed per week for patient use nationwide is 14,000 bags of blood, of which 3,500 to 4,000 bags of blood per week are needed to supply to hospitals within the Klang Valley. And we know the situation is dire at this point. I'd like to bring in my guest today to talk about national blood supply from the National Blood Centre Director, Dr. Nuriyati Abu Amin joins me right now. Hi, Doctor. It's good to have you on. I hope that the connection is kinder to us right now. We did try to do a quick check prior to the show, and it was a little bit tricky to establish a good connection there. I'm hoping that Dr. Nuriyati would be able to join us. National blood supply is such an important topic and one that we must always ensure we have enough in terms of reserves as well. The Health Ministry earlier this week says that the national blood supply is declining. So this is a big call out to those who are in the position to donate to come forward and do your part as well. Know that the medical authorities and the medical practitioners take all the necessary steps to ensure that the process remains safe. Dr. Nuriyati, I'm still trying to get you in, and there you are, your lovely self. Thank you, Doctor, for being with us. I hope that you can hear me loud and clear.
Very clear, Jessie. Sorry about that. Thank you for your
Fantastic.
patience.
This is the new norm. It happens. What's important is that we remain calm and remain flexible to any situation. If there's one thing I've learned from being on TV, doctor, just to get right into it, as I just reiterated earlier, the health ministry says and is saying loudly that the nation's blood supply is declining. Can you give us an update of the current situation of our blood supply right now?
Indeed, as you have alluded to earlier, when the number of infection went up in June and July, we saw that the donation rate dropped throughout the country. So the data that we have as of first. F- uh, as of this week, there has been slight improvement. The blood donation has picked up from nationwide from 9,000 bags last week, and it went up to 10,000 this week. But still, that is still, we have quite a number that we need to gain so that our blood supply is stable and we can meet the need for the patient nationwide. So it has improved with the media the media sharing by the DG of Health. It went up to 10,000, but we need to increase it more to what we usually have every week.
Mhm. Right, doctor. Now that you mention, that more people have come forward as well, but based on that point, what do you think is holding people back? What are some of the concerns during the donation process?
To me, I would divide it into three aspects. Number one, with this MCO, definitely there are, sometimes there are these roadblocks that our donors and the public need to pass. So people are not sure whether they can get through. In actual fact, we have also asked from MKN to let the donors to come forward and donate blood, provided that they bring their donation book or the appointment slip from the National Blood Center or from any of the blood bank throughout the country. That is one aspect of concern. The
Mhm.
second aspect, I think, because now there has been less number of mobile blood donation campaigns, because our donors are not able to conduct the blood donation drive for several reasons. Partly, some of them, normally we have a blood donation drive at workplace, like in the factories, in the offices. But because there's either, the factories or the offices are not working as before, so there's less number of people. So, and then the other aspect is that we need to make sure that we have adequate space with the new norms. And some of our organizers, our donor organizers, are not able to comply with that. And so there has been several cancellation, but we are really still thankful that many of our organizers throughout the country are still trying to help, the patient out there. And the third reason, and I think this is also something that is, we understand that is going on through the minds of the public, is that what about their safety against COVID-19 when they come to donate blood? So how are we going to ensure that? So we have we are following strict guidelines, and also we have our new guideline being published, being updated recently, and we are following that closely to ensure that we minimize the risk as much as possible to our public, so that they have the assurance of safety when they come and donate blood.
Right, doctor. So if I could just, summarize that, what you're saying is that it is safe. There are even more strict SOPs than the regular SOPs that were there in the first place. And of course, the entire team will do all they can to ensure utmost compliance to these SOPs. Well, doctor, what's the amount of average blood required per week? I mean, for the layperson, it may seem like, okay, we've looks like we've got enough blood, but why do we need so much? So perhaps you could break that down for us a bit more.
Okay, in on average, we need 2,000 bags of blood each day for nationwide. So in a week, we need about 14,000 donation. And
Mhm.
normally people come and donate during weekends because that is the most convenient time for our blood donors, right? But normally we expect around 14,000. Indeed, it has dropped. And why do we still need blood in COVID situation? Because we
Right.
still have patients in the ward, in the emergency department. Like, there are people who had emergencies, a situation like road traffic accidents that need a huge amount of blood, or mothers who gave birth and have a complication like hemorrhages. And we also have patients who require transfusion regularly. These are patients like patient with thalassemia, a patient with kidney disease having to go through dialysis, people going for operation, people who are being treated for cancers, because these patients still need their regular treatment and need the blood to support them in their journey of their treatment. So for us to have this 14,000 unit will ensure that the patient who need them get the right amount at the right time wherever they are in Malaysia. And on top of that, what we are seeing before, in the early part of the pandemic last year, we saw that there were not many patients with COVID-19 that need transfusion. But just recently, we are seeing that because COVID is in the public, we are seeing that people are also requiring transfusion while they are warded because of COVID-19. And these are, people with a chronic condition like kidney problems, or people who had bleeding in their intestinal tract. And we still need to support them while they are being treated for COVID. We also need to support them with the blood products to for their health and their lives.
That's right. I mean, I think very importantly, you said getting access to the right amount at the right time, which is so important. This simple step can obviously save lives, and we know right now the national agenda is to keep everyone safe and save as many lives as we can. Dr. Gerard will be joining us in just a quick bit. There he is dialing in from the office. Gerard Ratnam, welcome to the program. Thanks for being with us. Of course, on air right now, I have with me Dr. Nuriyati Abu Amin, the director of the National Blood Center. We're talking about national blood
Yeah, I'd
supply
like to
today.
just jump in here to thank the National Blood Center. They're always the heroes in the background, doing a lot of work on a daily basis. Keeping, it's a blood bank, so you have to keep accounts together. Stock needs to be there, and they've been doing, very quietly doing a great what we call it, service, being of great service to the nation for a very, very long time. But Doc, I just like to weigh in here. They say requirements to be a donor. So you have to be age 18 to 60 years old for first-time donors, while the age limit extends to 65-year-old for those who've donated blood previously. I hope that's right. Now, other requirements include a body weight of at least 45 kilos, in good physical and mental health, no chronic medical illness. So when you say chronic medical illness, so those with what, diabetes mellitus, those with heart problems, who can is needs to stay out of this.
In a very simple term, Gerard, we have two principles when we allow somebody to donate blood. One is that it must be safe for the patient to receive their blood. And the second aspect is that we must make sure that it is also safe for our blood donors to donate blood. You mentioned about the work that we are doing in the Ministry of Health, right? In the blood banks. But I have also to say that it is the public that who have come forward to donate blood. So I would also want to recognize our our blood donors and our donor organizer who have been working together with us to help the patient. So again, those criteria that you have mentioned are very important to ensure the well-being and the safety of our blood donors, at the same time ensuring the safety of the blood for our recipient, for our patient to receive them. The chronic condition, people with hypertension, for example, on single medication, good BP, blood pressure results, and has no complication, can still come and donate blood. The same with diabetes. But people who have other complication because of their chronic condition should not come and donate. But that doesn't mean the end of it. So we need more people to become, our donor recruiters. And sometimes it's the best people to come and ask people to donate blood is the donor themselves. They went through the blood donation process before COVID and during COVID, and they know the steps and the changes that we have made to ensure the safety of the public when they come to us to donate their blood.
Well, I guess the million blood pack question here would be, what's your message to Malaysians? Like, what do you want all of us to know before we let you go?
Absolutely.
Yes, first is that as long as you have low risk to COVID and keep protecting yourself and follow all the SOPs, do the 3 Ws, avoid the 3 Cs, right? You are eligible to come and donate blood, and we will, take all precaution to ensure that the blood donation process is a pleasant process and a safe process, because the safety of our donors, the safety of our patient, and also the safety of staff working is of paramount importance to us. And we need more blood donors, and this is a real important aspect that people can contribute to help others in need. So that's my hope to the public.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nuriyati, for really putting that into perspective. And thank you to you and the entire team at the Center for, the good work, the national service that you're doing. We'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gerard, for jumping in as well. And I'll see you soon, perhaps, in the next few days if I ever make it to the office. But moving on, talking a little bit about the national blood supply. The Ministry of Health, here's a reminder, is calling on the public to come forward to donate blood. There's other options if you don't want to, get out and go into the blood donation suite. There is perhaps the mobile blood donation campaign as well. Please visit the National Blood Donation Center's website and get more information from there itself. Okay, as we move on, I'd like to bring your attention to what's trending overall in terms of internationally as well as on Twitter. Let's kickstart with this. The United States has informed Indonesia that it will provide an additional $30 million in coronavirus related assistance. Now, that's good news. Of course, the United States has provided the government of Indonesia so far more than $65 million in assistance since this pandemic started. And the number of COVID-19 vaccine shots administered worldwide has crossed 4.18 billion as of Monday this week. China leads this count with more than 1.67 billion jabs, followed by India and the US respectively. Brazil also not too far behind, and next on the list is Germany, and Japan and UK with 87 million and 85 million doses respectively. Just checking in here with the studio to see what our timing is like, bringing me towards the end of this edition of our program today. Let me tell you what's happening on Twitter. If we've got no time to jump into Twitter Jaya, as they call it. Here's what's trending. Bursa Malaysia has recorded slightly higher in early trade today, reversing yesterday's downtrend. A lot of discussion around that as well. There's also been a slight rebound in the ringgit, which has contributed to the increase in the oil price. And separately, an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.0 has rocked Indonesia's western province of Bengkulu. Today, no tsunami warning has been issued just yet. Well, that's it from me, reporting live, bringing you the updates and, of course, topics of interest and discussions as well. Look, I'm on Twitter as well. My handle at Jessie Chahal. Leave me your comments, your questions, if you would like me to highlight a particular issue, or if you have a few thoughts on something that's happening here in our country. Till then, remember, stay home, stay safe. None of us are safe until all of us are safe. Let's get out of this pandemic as quick as we can. That's me being optimistic on a Tuesday afternoon. Have a great day ahead. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.